Hi there, stampers and crafters. My name is Tammy White from stampwithtami.com, and welcome to my online class. Today we're going to be working with floating frames. It's a super cool technique. Haven't done it in a long time, and I thought I might update it a little bit, so I've got some tips here on creating the technique, how to do it, and also some coloring techniques with the Stampin' Blend markers. And then at the end of the episode, I'm going to share an entire series of floating frame technique cards that I'll be sharing over the next week on my blog with tutorials. And I have tutorials and PDFs for everything that I do. So you'll find a free tutorial for this, PDF, written instructions, and even links to all the products that I'm using on my blog at stampwithtami.com, and there should be a link in this video's description, as well as you can go right to stampwithtami.com and get the information there. So it is great to see everybody, and let's get started with the good stuff. So today is Blog Hop Day, and what Blog Hop Day means is that not only am I doing a video with a lot of inspiration, a ton of inspiration, I've got over 15 cards to share with you guys today, as well as sharing this technique. But when you pop on over to my blog, we have a spring theme blog hop from my Stampin' demonstrator group. And these gals have been working on some amazing projects to share with you guys. And you can take the tour, get all of the inspiration, get inspired, and you can enter to win our giveaway there, which is a host set. It's called Sit, Stay, Relax from Stampin' Up. It's not easy to get, so it's a cool one. And all you need to do is drop a comment on each of the blog posts in the hop and use the hashtag Stampin' Contest. You can enter once on each blog, and you can enter multiple times by leaving a comment on each blog. One comment entry per blog in the blog hop. Anyways, yeah, and now I've got a QR code theme there. If you're watching on your TV and don't have links, you can zap that code and get right to the blog hop and right to this project page that also has that free PDF. So I'd like to welcome everybody aboard as we get started. I am live streaming this class, so you may be watching live, and I'm really excited to have you guys here. I will be able to answer your questions live. At least I'm reading and stamping at the same time, so sometimes it's hard to do it all at the same time. If I miss any comments, I promise I will be back online to answer anything that I've missed. And I'm going to start with, since it's spring theme, I was going with Easter, so I've got a lot of spring themed projects to share that I created with the floating theme at the end of the floating frame theme at the end of the video. But this is the one I'm going to show you how to do. So we've got the Easter Bunny stamp set. This is a Stampin' Up stamp set, and it's in their January to April mini catalog, which is like a spring catalog. So I've pre-stamped in Memento black ink the images that I'm going to want to use. And yeah, I'm bringing them back, Debbie. She says, I forgot about this one. Yeah, bringing it back because I loved it. I was having fun. I really wanted to play with the Easter Bunny. There was also an Easter Bunny punch that matched this. It didn't match the rest yet. So it's sold out and I didn't have it. So I'm cutting all of these. You guys, if you have it, wonderful, you can use it. If you don't have it, you don't need it to make this. You can totally do it without. So I'm just going to show you how I colored the images. I'll just color a couple of them here just so you can get the ideas. I'm using Stampin' Up, Stampin' Blend markers here. And these are alcohol-based markers. And they're made to blend, but they also are very quick drying. So when you want to blend, you want to do it quickly, and you want to make sure that your image is wet. So the first thing I'm doing here is maybe the bunny's nose and his ears. And the color that I'm using here on the marker, it's called SU1000, but it's the lights of their naturals collection. So they have a whole like skin tone naturals collection from light all the way to dark, and that's what they're called: lights, medium light, medium dark, dark. So this one is the light. Don't worry if you don't remember that, because I have all of these listed on that free PDF that you can download, and it should be up there right now. You can go get it. All of the markers come in packs of 2, with the exception of the color lifter, which I'll probably use in a minute. So you have a dark and a light of each color. For the bunny, I'm using gray granite for him. which was one of the lighter colors. And each of these blend markers has a nib tip, which I'm using right now, but they also have the brush tip end for larger surfaces. If you want more control or smaller surfaces, I do recommend using the nib tip end. And for smaller, I said control on smaller surfaces, right? It's early. For larger surfaces that you want to cover, like maybe his whole body here, I might use the brush tip end. So right now I'm taking the dark and I'm highlighting some areas around his body that I want to really kind of pop. And then I'm going to switch over to the gray granite light. I actually might use the other end, the brush tip end here. And I'm going to blend that that darkness, that darker gray granite going around his eyes. I was thinking this bunny might look cute with Google eyes. What do you guys think? I don't have them, so I can't do it right now. But I was just thinking when I was playing with the bunny, I was like, he might look really cute with some Google eyes on him. Can you guys believe, I mean, Ash Wednesday was this week. Maybe that's why I've got Easter on my brain. But can you believe Easter is like so close and oh my gosh. So super cuteness coming, but don't worry. I have other spring themed floating techniques to share done the same way. What do you guys see these? I had so much fun making these. I can't wait to share them. So they're at the end. So I've taken the light gray granite and I've just kind of gone around, blended that in, and if I want any areas even highlighted maybe a little bit darker, I'll go back in, maybe just a little bit around here. I'll go back in with the dark after and layer. So layer that color on there so that he really pops. So anything I layered, I'm just going to take the light and kind of highlight. Just kind of bring that color in so there's not a line there. Okay. Next, I'm going to take the color lifter. So the color lifter, it's not like an eraser. It's more of a highlighter, I guess you would say. It pulls some of the color up. So like, for instance, right here in his face. I'm going to use a little bit here in the middle. It's going to pull his face up just a little bit. So he really, doesn't he look like, he looks like he's just dimensional there. You just want to hug him, don't you? All right, so I color the rest of these bunnies the same way. And maybe I'll just color the Easter eggs really quickly just to show you what I did with those. I've got polished pink for those. I've got bright colors for the Easter eggs because it was Easter theme that I was going for. So I'm going to take some dark polished pink and the nib tip end and just do maybe some stripes here on this Easter egg. And then take the lighter and kind of blend those stripes in. And then maybe, I mean, I felt when I was working with brights, I was thinking Daffodil Delight because that's like the ultimate bright color, right? So we'll take that. Oh, Germany, welcome. Yeah, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon there. Wow. It's early here and I have not had enough caffeine this morning. So if I start sipping my Diet Coke, forgive me. I want to give you the best experience possible on this Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon for Sandra in Germany. And I definitely don't want to be falling asleep or getting slow on you guys. Okay, so I'm doing this one here is Fresh Freesia, which is a retiring in color. Did you guys see our episode last week on the retiring in colors and get them while they're still here? So get them while Celebration is still here too, because Celebration is ending in 3 days. Oh my God, I cannot believe how fast that went. So I pretty much did the same thing. I had a little dark here, a little light here. I mean, I wasn't doing a ton of blending on the Easter eggs, just enough to kind of make them pop. And then I would continue on just doing that exact same technique. Color the butterflies, whatever colors you want. I liked brights, especially where this was spring. And the carrots I thought needed some pumpkin pie and old olive for traditional carrot colors. But hey, you don't have to be traditional. You can make a pink or purple rabbit. You can do whatever you want. That's the thing about creativity. Now, the other thing about videos is there's some magic. I love magical videos. I don't know about you guys. But after I colored all of my images, I cut them out. And these were really easy to cut out. It really wasn't, it wasn't anything that I really, it didn't take a lot of time. So I colored them, I cut them, and now I am ready to start doing some, oh my gosh, floating frame. See, not enough caffeine. Let's get Debbie's like, is that a thing? Enough caffeine? Definitely not this early in the morning. Normally I'm on at noon or later, so once a month during Blog Hop Month. I'm here on Saturday mornings. And yeah, it's early. It's not that early, really. I mean, I'm on Eastern time, so San Antonio, you might be a little later than me, but Eastern time, I'm on at 10, so it's not that early. It might be earlier for some of you. So if this is recycled printer paper, this particular sheet isn't recycled, but when I did this technique, I took all of that printer paper that I accidentally printed or that printed half a page. I save all of that. I'm all about recycling. And that's what I used for this technique. So I just cut a piece of that recycled printer paper down. And I do have this on that free PDF. I have the measurement there. So don't feel like you need to write all of this down because it's there for you. I've already done it for you. I just want you to sit back and relax and enjoy or stamp along. So I've cut this to 5.5 to 4 1/4 because that's the space that I'm going to be using. Now, if I was, I'm actually going to do a whole card front, which is 5.5 by 4 1/4. If I was gonna do like a frame it and just do like a panel on front of the card, I would maybe cut this to 4 1/4 by 4, which I have done with some of my others, and I'll show you that after. So next, I'm taking the stitched rectangle dies. These are a staple. I use these, you guys know, I use these on so much. So this is the 4th smallest stitched rectangle die, and a pen. This is my recycled paper. Just, you know, this isn't my panel that's going to be on a card or anything. But I'm going to outline. So I'm going to kind of line that up, and I'm going to outline. Because when I do this technique, we're actually going to make 2 cards out of 1 cut. So every time you do this, you're going to make 2 cards at once. Hey, and we all like that, right? Because that's kind of like bonus. Makes things easier. But the reason why I wanted to do this, and it's okay if it's not perfect, it's okay if it's messy. This is recycled printer paper. It's not going to show up on your final card. The reason why I wanted to do this is so that I would have an idea of where to lay down my images. So now I'm going to take all of those cuts that I just made, and you can do this. You can die cut paper. You can do cutouts. I did both for examples to show you after this. So you can do so much with this technique. But the one thing I did want to share is that it is important when you're making this technique, when you're lining up your images here, that you cross over this line that you're going to cut. I think that looks the best when you're done. So you want some images, and when you do that, when you put an image on here to cross over, make sure it's large enough that you can put a dimensional under it. Because it's really hard. Sometimes you get like a sliver of a piece, and if you have never done this technique, you're not quite sure what I'm talking about here. I'll show you when we're done. If you get like a sliver or something under there, it's really hard to line up. So maybe I'll just keep going. I'll do the bigger images first, and then we'll go on. Like, see how this bunny is going to overlap here? That's going to look really the best, I think. And this cute little bunny, we're going to put him over here. Good morning, everybody, and welcome on those of you that are on the live. Good morning, everybody who isn't live, but everybody who isn't live probably watched from the beginning. And those of you who are live probably didn't get the notification until, we're a few minutes in. So welcome, guys, welcome. All right, so we'll put our bunnies kind of, I want them random. I want them to look random, and it's important that they go off the edge and that they cross over there. And then we can fill in all of these spaces with these images here. And another thing, sometimes I cut off, like for example, we've got 3 eggs here, and I might put 2 eggs, maybe even 1 egg up here off the edge, and then use these 2 eggs in a different place. You don't want to overlap any of your pieces here, so be careful not to overlap that. Let's see. Get a little bit more on here. And that down there. And then just kind of fill in the blanks. We can put that there. Actually, let's put some butterflies down here. What do you guys think? Another thing that you could do here, and I would do it before you start lining things up, is add a little wink of Stella to the maybe the eggs and the butterfly, and really kind of give it that little special something something. You know what I'm saying? A little special something. All right, I think I might cut this one down a hair. just like I did with the other one. Oh, it's cold in St. Paul. It's cold here. I'm in Boston, and it's cold here today, too. It's going to be one of those days. Oh, the heaters. And you may even hear my heater kick in the background. Somebody actually complained about that once. When it's really cold, the heater's right next to me, so you can hear it kick in, and somebody did not like that. I'm sorry. I do apologize, but I need the heat, so it's it's a necessary evil. All right, so I'm going to roll with this. You can fill it as much as you like or as little as you like. Okay, so here's the key to the floating frame. It's press and seal, glad press and seal, and I'm going to apologize because mine has these dots on it, and that might look a little funky when I put it over this. So once you've got everything laid up the way you want, just tear a little piece of the press and seal. And not regular saran wrap doesn't work because it's not like, this is sticky. And saran wrap, it's not as sticky. It's clingy, but not sticky. Kind of like, we used to have cling mount stamps that were clingy and not sticky, and now our stamps are sticky and you can't unstick them. It's like that. Okay, so you want to be really careful when you place this down that you don't move your images around. And if you do, if anybody moves around, like I can kind of see through here, if anybody's moved and overlapped or kind of made a big gap, you can move them back. Like this guy, I want to move him back just a hair before we roll. And maybe move this carrot over so you can do just a little bit of adjusting here if need be. And if you're giving these to two of your grandkids or kids or two friends or whatever you're making them for. So you're making two at once, and then you don't have to feel bad that they're different and someone's going to like the other one better. Okay. So make sure that's stuck on that really good, and then we're going to carefully peel this up. And you can, I'm not going to cut off, actually I am going to cut off the edges. Do I want to do that now? Sure. But I might even kind of, I don't know, fold that in just to keep those from popping. Or you can cut that off, either way. Okay. You know what? You're right, Sherry. She says, I like the dots. You can tell which side is the sticky side. That is a really good point. I thought maybe looking at it, it might confuse you when you're seeing it on the video, but you are right. That is a good point. The dots are the sticky side. Okay, so now I'm just careful to line up the edge of the, now this is scrap paper that I'm using here. I'm careful to line that up with the edge of the guide. And if this isn't down, like if your saran wrap isn't down there tight, it might move a little bit, so just be really careful with that. You could also use scissors to do this part, but I feel like it's not as, you don't get as accurate. All right, I got a butterfly moving around here because he wasn't stuck down tight there. Go back, Mr. Butterfly. All right. So I'm going to do all 4 edges. And if I have any large pieces, like there's a large piece of the bunny right here, hold on to those, because if you have any gaps, you can use that to fill in the gaps after. Like I should have a, a little bit of a butterfly. Oh, I got another runner here. Man, I did not do a good job pressing the press and seal. You can see that's kind of important. Go back. Let's make sure this is all pressed down so that doesn't happen again. Hi, Tina. She loves floating. I do love floating frames. I do, and you know what? This is one technique that it doesn't get old because it's always different. And there's always something fun and new that you can do with it. And it's magical. When it's done, it looks like magic. And I love that because people look at it and they're like, oh, how did you do that? All right. There is maybe a little bit of overhang here. I don't know if I bother. You know what? I think I'm going to wait until after I cut everything out, and then I'll trim that down. So the next thing I'm going to do is cut out where we drew our line with the stitch shape dies. So we're going to bring the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine in. Let's put it right And I'm also going to show you after this a little tip on lining these up. You know what? You're right. I need warm hands to get that seal good, and it is cold here. And that's probably part of why I didn't press down really good, so I could make excuses, but it's really just me. So I'm just going to line that up so it's straight. Even if my original line wasn't straight, I'm going to line that up so it's straight. It's the 4th smallest of the stitched rectangle dies. And oh, I love it. We got a floating frame newbie. Awesome. Oh, you're going to love this. Never seen it before, so this is the first time. Oh, that makes me so excited. Because when it's done, you're going to be like, holy moly, that's amazing. Because it really does look so cool, right? Okay. And we'll zoom back in so you can see just a little bit better. So now, because I did this, and this is one of my tips here, is doing it on this recycled scrap paper. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is separate these two. Because remember I said we're going to make 2 cards? So the center will be 1 card and the frame will be the other card. So we'll just pull that out. So that's one, and this is the other. So now I'm going to take that press and seal. If I, because I folded this over, actually it should be cut, so I shouldn't need to remove that. But you do need to remove the recycled paper. You don't want that on your final card. Let's cut those. Let's see how I had a couple here that I fumbled. Fumble! Let's cut those. Then I'll come back to there. Okay. All right, now I'm peeling back very carefully because you don't want to peel off any of your images that are on there, and you don't want this to fold over, because if the press and seal folds over on you and sticks to itself, oh, you got to start over. That's no fun. And I used to do this differently, and I think using the recycled paper was such a big tip there, because it just makes it so much easier in the end. Okay, so we have our images here, and let's go ahead and do this. I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing with this one. We'll do them both at the same time. I'm taking a chance here that one doesn't get stuck to something while I'm doing the other, but I kind of want to show them both together. Okay. Remember how I said you want your images to overlap? They look best when you do that. So the next step is Stampin' Dimensionals. I've got minis and regulars. So the minis are for the really small pieces, the regulars are for the really large pieces, and we're just going to stick those because these are going to make all of these pieces pop up. And if you can get these tiny little edgelings, I have a tip for that too. You really want as many of those as you can get in there because they add to the technique. And so we've got some minis in here for the little pieces. Oh, thanks, Maggie. She likes that. She likes that printer paper idea. It does. I think it makes it so much easier. You know, we learn new techniques, and then we learn through time, we learn how to make them better, right? All right, you want to make sure you get everybody here. And I am removing the backing of these dimensionals as I go so that I don't miss any, because if you do them after, I feel like I miss them. So I've cut a tiny little sliver off the edge of that mini dimensional, and we're going to add that. And this one I may even need to cut down even smaller because you need just a small piece. But if you can get those little pieces, these little edges, they really look the best. You know, they make it look good. want to stick. All right, I've got all that one. Now we're going to do this one. This is where I'm taking a chance doing them at the same time. If you're making these at home, I would not recommend doing them at the same time. I would recommend doing one, sticking it, and then doing the other. Just so that you don't accidentally get stuck on this one or anything happen to it. But in the interest of the video, I want to do them together so that you can kind of see the steps. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Oh, Sue, I hope you do try this technique, and I hope you really love it. And I have, like I had said in the beginning, in case you guys missed this, I have a ton of ideas with this coming. All right. Press and seal with the Stamparatus. Do you mean with regular projects? Debbie's saying she started using the press and seal with the Stamparatus. That actually is a good idea. That's a really good idea. Thanks for sharing that. I use the Stamparatus when I'm stamping personally, but when I'm doing videos, I sometimes just find it's easier for me because I'm doing so many things at the same time to just use the regular blocks. Sometimes it is definitely a little bit more complicated when you're making videos, like, you know, when I'm doing a live stream, because I want to answer all your questions. So I want to be reading your comments at the same time as I'm stamping and creating. And sometimes sometimes I get so lost in my projects, I miss some of the comments and it gets a little complicated. But I love it. And I love being able to stamp with you guys. Like, this is my favorite time of the week, when I get to spend it with you guys. And this week especially, because I had, yesterday was my Stampin' Group's demonstrator meeting, so I got to spend some time with my Stampin' Group online, and I got to spend some time here with you guys, and it's a good week. I love my job. All right, we're almost there. Almost there. Okay, so I see I've got a little sliver. I'm going to ignore those little slivers just in the interest of the video. Oh, thank you, Tina. That was really sweet. Making my day. I like your little, I like your new little icon with your Xena the Dilberman on it. All right, so for the card bases, now we've just done 2 of these, right? We've made 2 of these. I'm going to take, and I'll back you out just a little bit. I know I got really zoomed in. All right, so I've got 2 card bases, and I made those out of one. It's shimmery white that I used here because I like that with the Stampin' Blends. I cut one piece of shimmer 8.5 by 11 in half, folded them in half, and that made 2 card bases. So 1 for each project. All right, so we're gonna go with the easy one. Actually, before we do that, I want to stamp the words. And you can stamp them after, but if you make a mistake, then you're stuck with it. So let's do that first. So with this one, I took these words are, because I was going Easter themed, from Rejoice in Him. Wishing you joy and love this Easter. So here we go. And I'm going to stamp the words right in the middle. Boom. And I throw out my little rectangle, so I'm just going to use this as a guide for where I want the words on this one. Now the words on this one came from the Easter Bunny stamp set. And that, again with the black. On my original, I'll show you the original in a minute, I heat embossed the black. I thought it came out really cool. I liked it. It was really like bright. But for this one, we're just going to go with a regular. Okay, so let's start with this one. This one's the easier one. The little one's the easier one. Just be really careful picking it up. And this one, we're just going to pop it down, line it up with those words a little bit. Make sure I'm not pressing until I know it's where I want it, because I still can move it around till I feel like it's in the middle, and then I'm gonna press down. Aha, no one knows I'm awake. I'm in bed for this. That's awesome. I won't tell anybody. That's great. Okay, so we're gonna very, very carefully peel back that press and seal. Can you see it start to come alive? I love it. Just make sure, like for example, that one just kind of lift it a little bit. Make sure anybody that starts to pop up with the press and seal, just press it down. So that's why you kind of want to go slow. Ta-da! Okay, here's card number 1. And isn't that cool? Let me hold it up there so you can see. It's like magic, right? And now for this one, I'm going to show you a tip for doing this one. I'm taking my silicone mat. I use this a lot when I'm putting adhesive on so it doesn't get adhesive all over my workspace. And let's just touching that to pick it up. Now I'm going to do the same exact thing here. I'm not going to press down until it's where I want it. So I'm lining it up. Can you guys see here? I might even want to zoom in a little bit more. I'm lining the edges up with the edge of the card. Don't press down. And so when I do this over the silicone mat, these aren't going to stick. So, and that is a huge tip, because once these stick down, then sometimes it gets hard. So we're just going to leave that there. Make sure that's where I want it. And then I'm going to press those down. And then I'm just going to lift that up a little bit. Make sure these are still lined up where I want them. And then press down, and then just a little bit at a time go up. Yeah, okay. Right, Maggie, that is exactly why that mat, I learned that mat trick when I was doing it, and that exact same thing happened. One of these pieces stuck up here, and then I was like, oh, shucks. So that mat, I think the silicone mat, and you can buy that in my online store. All of these products are available in my online store, but that mat right there was a huge tip that I learned. So again, very carefully going to peel back the press and seal. And I found with this frame, it might even help to cut it right there. So you can just do one at a time rather than kind of peeling the whole thing back. There. Adorbs, right? Like magic. Okay, now see how I have a little space here, and I saved a couple of these little larger cutouts. So what you can do is fill in that gap. Like I can kind of put maybe this half a butterfly. I can put some dimensionals on him and stick him up in that gap. Or I can take this bunny, the bunny feet, and stick that up there kind of like that, right? And fill in that gap, and then just trim it off. There. There. All right, so that is the floating frame technique. So cool, right? So this was done with the Easter Bunny stamp set, because it is our spring themed blog hop. If you're popping in late, that's the giveaway today. It is a blog comment entry. It's always free to enter our blog hops, but this one is a blog entry. Sometimes there are a video comment entry, sometimes it's a blog hop entry, sometimes it's a form entry, so depending on what the contest is. So click on the link in the video's description, go to stampwithtami.com, or if you're watching on a TV, you can zap that QR code and enter to win. Free PDF on my blog. All right. Easter Bunny stamp set, because it was Easter themed and I wanted to go with a little Easter theme. But wait, wait, there's so much more coming. And the words on this one were from the Rejoice in Him stamp set. All of this is on the blog and on that free PDF, all of the supplies that I used and written instructions and dimensions. This is my, I'll show you just really quickly, this was my original set, and I heat embossed the words on the original set. So they really pop out too. So just showing, okay, so here it comes. Starting with, this was Happiness Abounds. It was the Hues of Happiness suite and the Happiness Abounds stamp set, Hues of Happiness designer series paper. So I colored the images on the first card. This is all designer paper. So I cut out the flowers from the designer paper, and then I used the oval die from the it's Eden Garden of float. What's the oh my god, I'm drawing a blank. What's the set that just came? It's gonna come back to me. Normally I have the paper on here, but for some reason it's, oh, there it is. Woo! Okay, frame florets. I was dying for a minute there. Frame florets oval that I used instead of the stitched rectangle to cut that out, but the same way. The only difference here is, see how I layered this, so the frame piece is a little bit smaller. I cut it a little bit smaller. I will post directions this week for that with the dimensions, just in case you're not sure what I meant by that. Next up, you ready for this one? Okay, Sweet Citrus, and I used the 3D embossing folder with the Sweet Citrus. And so we've got, I made grapefruits, and actually the words are from the stamp set, but all of the fruit is cut from the dies. I actually didn't stamp them, I just colored them with Stampin' blends. Isn't that amazing? Oh my gosh, it just jumps right out at you. And then you see the frame there? I just love it, right? It looks so cool. So there's grapefruits. Let me back out the hairs here so you can see a little bit better. There's grapefruits. There's oranges, because each one makes 2 cards, right? Oranges. And last, but you could also do lemons. I didn't do a lemon one, but limes with the Parakeet Stampin' Blend markers. I did these all with Stampin' Blend markers. Tomorrow I will have the tutorial on this, done all the same way, but I'll even share a short sharing how I used the hybrid folder to make this fruit and color it. So a little bonus action there. So that's actually a big set there. I made 3 of those out of the Sweet Citrus. Love to know which one of these is your favorite out of all of the series that I've got here. Okay, so, oh wait, there's more. There's more. I promise more, and there is more. Oh my gosh, you're gonna love this one. Okay, Taco Fiesta. Love it, right? Everybody loves this set. It is so stinking cute. Okay. How adorbs is that, right? We've got the llama. Makes me want to sing some Mexican songs. Right? You want to. And I colored the llama with some Winkastellas. I don't know if you can see that on the video, so he's a little sparkly. Love it, right? So fun. Long time no taco. Come on, so fun. Again, instructions for this will be at Stamp with Tammy with an I this week. Next. Oh wait, there's more. Okay. So this one I created with the new paper pumpkin kit. This was the February paper pumpkin kit. It just came, and since I was playing with the floating frame, I was like, oh, let's make this. Now this paper pumpkin kit, it was called Sunshine and Smiles. The deadline was February 10th. It matched the Rain or Shine designer series paper. So I used both die cuts from the kit and designer series paper together. I kind of put the 2 together to make these. So you can, and the refills for this kit, for the Sunshine and Smiles kit, it was the February kit, are up in my online store while they last. So this was just such an adorable little, this was the cards that came out of the kit. If you're not a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you totally want to check it out because they're awesome. Right now, the March kit they're celebrating 10 years and they're giving away a bonus free stamp set. These are wonder cards. These were the cards right out of the kit, right? So cute. And then I took these die cuts for the floating frame. So sorry, I sealed them together when I was taking photos, and now they're sealed together permanently. This was the one that's available now, and there's multiple ways that you can get Paper Pumpkin. You can subscribe and pay as you go, and it's automatic and you don't have to do any work. It just shows up on your doorstep, and it's the best thing you get in the mail all month. Or you can do prepaids, 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, or 12 month. And during celebration, you can actually, this is, and I know a lot of people do this, it's the best deal. You can do the 12-month prepaid subscription. So you got 12 months of Paper Pumpkin, you get 4 free Celebration products, you get Stampin' rewards, and you're all set for the next year. And then you can do your prepaid again next year during Celebration. It's the best way to get Paper Pumpkin. And you only have 3 days left because Celebration's ending. Oh my gosh. It's ending on February 28th. So you've only got a couple days left to get the free products and the demo kit special. I'll talk about that in just a second. But wait. There's one more. And this one is from the brand new online exclusives. They'll be dropping in my online store on March 1st. This is from the Hello Irresistible Suite. I use the Irresistible Blooms stamp set and dies, and then the frosted dots on these. Isn't that beautiful? This suite is absolutely gorgeous. So the online exclusives, they're available now in a demonstrator kit, or if you're a demonstrator, and they will drop in my online store on March 1st. They won't be in any publication. You can purchase them there. I have an awesome deal going right now with the Irresistible kit that you have until March 12th, so March 2nd to order. If you love, you can add on any additional online exclusives, and more will be dropping on the 1st in my online store, so you can add on. I'll be doing a free class for anyone that purchases. You'll get 20% off of retail, and you'll get this free book, stationery book class and the products to make these projects. And I have to, in addition to these cards, the floating frame cards, I gotta show you the box. Because I love this. Right, so this is the box that we'll be making in that class. And that's just a free gift for purchasing through me. Now, oops, sorry, my pen fell out. I had it opened already. And then these little note cards are part of it. Isn't that beautiful? It's just, oh, the suite is gorgeous. Gorgeous, and I cannot wait to see what else comes, drops on March 1st. So lots of awesome things coming. All right, so that is my Hello Irresistible kit and a little bit of information that's coming on March 1st. Linda and I will be out here on the Stampin' Scoop Show on March 2nd, sharing more online exclusives that will be coming. You can order that kit in my online store now. You can order it now through March 2nd. I'm just kind of laying these out here so you guys can see the variety of projects and how fun that floating frame is. I hope you have lots of fun making this project, making these techniques. I love to hear what your favorite one is. I just like to see what you guys pick. I had a hard time picking a favorite here. I love the taco. I love the Irresistible Blooms. I love the fruit. The fruit just pow, it just jumps right out at you. And just a reminder really quickly, I did scroll through that really fast. Celebration is ending. So there's only 3 days left. I believe it's Wednesday is the last day, February 28th. And that means the demonstrator kit special is also ending. And the demonstrator kit special, you get, I mean, you can save up to, Linda did these savings here. You have 3 options that you can pick, and you can have a savings of like $95 or $135 total overall. You can get this information on my blog at stampwithtami.com. Oh, I got Easter one, bunnies, tacos. I love it. I love seeing all of your picks for the favorites. That's awesome. Definitely drop a comment here. Let me know which ones you guys love the most. I know Easter coming bunnies are definitely going to be hot. All right, I will be back here on Thursday with Linda sharing the Stampin' Scoop and some more online exclusives. I hope you all have a wonderful and warm weekend. Thanks so much for joining me today. You guys can come down here and look at some more projects because I don't know, it's misbehaving, so maybe we just need to do another class. What do you guys think? Another class? There we go. All right, I know, I'm like, if I had more stamps down here, we'd do another class. All right, you guys, thanks, bye.